that I've been wanting to look at are kids getting stupid. This is Ba, a super fan of. I can't say his name. Edvazian. He is awesome. I absolutely love this guy, and he's just got a new video called Dopamine Overload Marketing is Changing Gen Alpha. Is this what's causing the downfall of silly kids in the world? We're about to find out, so sit back, relax.
Rizzlers, morning, welcome back my little Rizzlers. Looking very Sigma today. Okay, that probably won't be a regular thing, but can't promise anything. As you can tell from that scary introduction, I'm always on that quest for knowledge so I can keep up with what's going on in the world. And after finishing my 90s slang to Gen Alpha slang worksheet, I wanted to use new word I learned in
Gen Z slang words. What? Lit? FOMO? No cap? No cap? Words of saying steady. Okay, that I know. Salty? I've never heard. Flex? Yeah. Ghost? Okay. Stan? What's Stan?
real life. Maybe the brain rot was there all along. We've just repackaged it.
We're back.
Out of Cocomelon videos. Who knows? Maybe in the future the cringiness of saying majestic and ate that will be cool again, like, you go girl, no diggity.
You heard anyone ever say majestic? Isn't no diggity from like 1990?
Fresh? And jump scare, this is actually from an old Navy catalog for hip children's clothes. The kid audience has always been a target for billion-dollar companies operating under corporate capitalism. That still hasn't changed. If there's a miner, we're gonna mine her for gold. Yikes. Basically, everyone's trying to sell you something like a video game innkeeper. That's just how the world works nowadays. But you'll be okay as long as you do your research before buying anything so you can make an informed decision. Try to avoid blindly trusting random guys on the internet who make YouTube videos. So, you looking weary, traveler? Are you looking to sit down for a pint? Or would you fancy a magic potion for health? Well, we don't have that, but we do have Gamer Subs, our sponsor for today. A healthier and cheaper alternative to energy drinks. Since the majority of my audience are fully
I always watch sponsored things from YouTubers because it's their vibe, so
developed frontal lobe people, I feel better about telling you guys about this. It's 0 sugar, less than 1 calorie, and if you're a fan of anime, you'll like what they have to offer.
Yeah.
Gamer Subs isn't something I drink daily, but when I need that extra
it's very interesting.
Get me through that after lunch grogginess. For me, half a
I don't know, I
scoop of
like using good English. Does that make me old?
I like that you
I
can
prefer
adjust the
having
servings
a
based on how much you
I
need.
prefer having
tend to make my
a higher classed vocabulary. Higher class, I don't know, it makes me sound elitist, but yeah, I don't know. I just, the English language is so pretty. It's such a great language, and there's so many ways to describe things other than swear words, but man, alright.
Ye old TV commercials, newspaper columns, and magazine clippings. To every screen within your peripheral vision being a rush of dopamine-inducing ads. Doom scrolling through your phone feels like standing in the middle of Times Square. There's so much going on at once, and you haven't even left your bed yet. How does one navigate the world when everything is overstimulating us to the point of exhaustion? Especially for people with underdeveloped brains. No, not us content creators with skibbity toilet brain rot, but Gen Alpha, those born at the tail end.
That's interesting. Okay, here we go. Builders. So there was stuff before baby boomers, 1946. All right, baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. So that's the World War II. Gen X, 1965 to 79. Gen Y. Where's millennials?
Of 2009 to present day, who are somewhere between the ages of 0 to 14 years old. Never having a second of quiet or playtime without a screen, while constantly being bombarded with ads, is expediting their growing up process. You know how boomers are constantly rambling about how these whippersnappers, they're growing up too quick, I tell ya. It's not just the sweet embrace of dementia coming in for a hug. They're actually right. Gen Alpha is speed running through the 10-year-old phase and straight into the drunk elephant anti-aging mewing.
Alpha Sigma Giga Chad. Sus. As a person born in 20X, I have never. Ohio. Gen Alpha starts in a...
While the Rizzler's lullaby plays in the back. All around the skibbity bush, the monkey chased the Rizzler. The monkey thought Ohio was fun. Yat goes the Rizzler. Has been stuck in my head for weeks. Giant corporations have the tendency to prioritize making as much money as possible to the detriment of their consumers. And the marketing tactics they employ are literally rewiring our brains. While we do have more regulations compared to before, companies are still able to find loopholes when advertising to minors. Before the rise of internet celebrities who are born from viral moments and
Gen Y or millennials? I did not know they called Gen Y millennials. I thought we were special. Clearly not.
Nice heaping of luck. We had traditional A-list celebrities attaching their names to reputable brands. Tom Cruise's PT Cruisers, The Rock's Organic Gravel, Reese Witherspoon's Silver Coloring Set, and Janet Jackson's Winter Jackets for sons, just to name a few that I made up. People would buy anything if someone famous endorsed it. A popular Hollywood squirrel selling acorns? I will take 50. Although the A in A-list does stand for always. Unrelatable, because they are too famous.
We all think we're immune to advertising. You know, we've watched a couple things about Cambridge Analytica and the amount of data, the data points that places like Google have on each individual on the planet. And they have a great statement that says, it's the subtle, imperceptible change. So you may not even realize you've been shown something subtly over and over and over again, like KFC, McDonald's, whatever, a clothes, a shirt, a specific color, over and over, subtly, over and over, until eventually your brain just clicks and goes, I need that. I'd like to say that I'm immune to advertising, but that ain't the case. That ain't the case.
These Hollywood bigwigs, they're just in it for the money. You really think Jennifer Aniston is wiping her face with Aveeno using her giant Friends paycheck? There was a time when influencers were considered more trustworthy when endorsing products compared to traditional celebrities. Cause influencers, man, they just like us. Our relatable internet friend, who's only a DM away. Plus, the constant output of content helps build that parasocial relationship that kids really yearn for. Think about it. If you were in grade 4 in this day and age, would you be idolizing these nerds? With peace and love, the purple one is my bias. Or would you be a fan of famous TikTok influencer with limitless riz, who just gave $1 million to one of their fans? The chances of that being you only increases if you buy 55 pairs of merch and 55 boxes of snack foods. Lunchables. Ooh. Lunchly is a brand of snack kits created by Logan.
Oh my god, this shit is on another level. Didn't these guys get... Okay, so they released their first product, Lunchables, which reportedly had lead in it. And this is from, guess who? Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast. Yeah, so,
Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast,
There we
famous
go.
internet celebrities
There
known
we
to have
go.
a lot of young fans. They're marketing the snack kit as a healthier alternative to Lunchables. The announcement for this product caused quite a bit of discourse.
Lunchly versus Lunchables.
With Lunchly, you get double the amount of liquid.
Prime has no sugar added, more electrolytes, and more B vitamins.
Crunch Bar.
Whoa.
Feastables Crunch
Yeah!
Bar. Our pizza uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their
look how they sell this shit. Just loud. It's so invasive.
box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese. We're also 30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar. Turkey stack 'em, 310 calories.
230 calories.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams.
Listen, the guy on the left in the white shirt, as you all know, is Logan Paul. Didn't this guy, someone who had committed suicide in a Japanese forest, respect to the families, okay? That is an awful thing. And then KSI, who's just released a song that's bombed to all hell, and Mr. Beast, who's currently being investigated for... And you know it's only kids watching this stuff, man.
If you look at this close up, you can already tell which one has better ingredients. All right, we'll start off with the Lunchables.
Bro, I'm sorry, that's trash. All right, now we're trying Lunchly.
That was their own
Not
product.
biased at all, but ours is way better.
I know I'm not the target audience for this, but that was a lot for my old wrinkly adult brain. If I was a young kid, however, I could see myself being influenced by this. Small green number. Good.
There we
Big
go.
red number. Bad.
Exactly.
Why? I don't know. That's what my favorite internet celebrity told me. You also get that dopamine rush of jump cuts, yelling, and overstimulating animations in the span of 60 seconds. To no one's surprise, a handful of content creators were pretty vocal about this being a cash grab targeting their young fans, and how the content creation space has become a capitalistic nightmare. After some back and forth between the general public and the creators of Lunchly, who all had different approaches of addressing the situation, some going personal, some going on the attack, and others going more in depth about the product itself. Whatever's happening here is a lot more nuanced than it appears. The main issues people have with Lunchly are with the founders themselves, who don't necessarily have the cleanest reputation in terms of controversy. Even if the product is technically better than what's currently available, you can't be too surprised when people think you're only doing this for profit when that's the image you built for yourself. This group of people here doesn't really scream passionate about kids' health, along with the content being created to promote their brand. Not sure what this has to do with providing healthier options for kids.
I'm going.
I guess
I mean, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny ad. I'm not gonna lie. They know what they're doing. Let's be real here. Like, as much as we hate them all, like, they know what they're doing.
product is literally, can I copy your homework? Yeah, don't worry, I'll make it slightly different so we don't get caught. If they wanted to portray a healthier alternative to snack foods, Lunchables shouldn't have been the base model for Lunchly, when Lunchables already has a reputation for being unhealthy with a sprinkle of delicious lead. I do agree with some parts of this. If you had to pick between the two, Lunchly is a better option on paper, but only by like 15%. The difference is almost negligible to justify eating this super often, especially during your development years. If my kid was a super fan and wanted to eat an influencer snack pack, they better have all their chores done a year in advance. Also, straight A's until they graduate. Also, the house better be clean from top to bottom. Oh, that's a maid. I think I'm looking for a maid.
Bear with me.
And the differences between the ingredients. The only factor that really separates these two products are that one has the backing of 3 super famous content creators with a chokehold on Gen Alpha, who'll believe almost anything they say. If Logan, KSI, and
I wonder what the kids... I mean, these kids are going to grow up and get into the working world. How are these kids going to function as adults? Do you think this is just a phase? Do you think they'll just be mindless, you know, influenceable mushes of human beings? What this is really doing to like a kid's brain.
And Mr. Beast say this is perfectly fine to eat every day, the cafeteria is going to be filled with Lunchlies with not a single fruit or vegetable in sight. Health campaigns and health-focused content creators have even criticized these Lunchly snack kits.
You'll see countless comparisons being made to Lunchables. To be honest, some of the comparisons are kind of cringe and don't make much sense to me, but maybe that's because I'm not the target demo. Flavorful combos versus standard picks? The meal kit combos are nearly identical to Lunchables. Big gestures versus mid moments? I certainly don't remember that lesson in my nutrition classes.
I don't think it's causing harm. I don't think it's bad, but I think it's been marketed in a way that gives people an impression that it's really, really good for hydration and or should be consumed at any other time of the day, like at lunch, which any, I think, sensible doctor, medical...
I choked reading that, dude. Let's make an essay version, chakalaka pop and wors, ne? Yeah, that's lekker, bro. Oh, I like it, bro. I like it. I could do that. Oro's juice box. Hell's yeah, dude. People were lining up in South Africa when Prime came here to go buy that shit. Dude, how much was a Prime bottle in South Africa? Hold on a second. 147 Rand. A Prime bottle in South Africa is 147 Rand. 800 Rand for a 500 milliliter bottle last year. The prices dropped to 10 Rand. Give me a Galaxy for a Prime, bro. Give me a Galaxy! Just give me a Galaxy! Anyway.
I think that the same beverage that should be used to hydrate elite mixed martial art UFC fighters training and sweating for hours is what you should drink at lunch when you're not sweating.
One thing I will mention as someone who was pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition back in my university days, basically I took one nutrition class and then dropped out. Yes, there is a bit of fear-mongering around processed foods. They are not good for you, but just because you can't pronounce some of the Lunchly ingredients doesn't mean that it's a horrible chemical. These are just the scientific names for vitamins, thickeners, and preservatives that keep the food from going off. In terms of processed foods that are ready to eat, good for you, but in terms of processed foods that are cheap and ready to eat, the ingredient lists aren't the worst thing in the world. It's no different than buying a microwave meal, which also has scary sounding ingredients, but are perfectly safe to eat in moderation. Definitely not as a daily thing. Treating Lunchly as a yearly snack would probably be my personal preference. In the end, it does all come down to the parents. I mean, the kids aren't the ones working 40 hours a week and buying the groceries. Even if they got on their hands and knees and begged, you gotta say no or have some restrictions with what they're eating. Food is a whole other ballpark compared to selling a hoodie or some pants, since it actually impacts your health. You have to be really clear about the brand's intentions without the confusing marketing tactics. If Lunchly made content teaching healthier eating habits, that would help their brand image, but that doesn't sell as well as whatever this is.
This is a good question. Like, where are the parents in here? Where are the parents? Why? I mean, these children aren't making their own decisions, correct? Why are the parents falling for this shit? Are the parents to blame? This is a valid question. I wouldn't put this shit anywhere near my child. I'd be force-feeding my child vegetables and good shit to grow up at least semi-healthy. Sure, you can have your snacks. Sure, you can have some sweets and and chips and stuff like that in moderation. But I'm not gonna give them this shit on the daily. That's just madness.
We take our all-new Lunchly turkey stackums.
Ooh.
Let's hit it.
It's actually pretty good. Shout out Logan, original cucumber guy. Hey, great name, by the way.
I remember when my parents would refuse to let me eat
these
craft
guys.
dinner and called it trash food. Please don't cancel them. Times were different back then. But I did feel left out because all my classmates were eating it for lunch. Thankfully, my parents could tell there was little to no nutrition in this box of macaroni noodles compared to a home-cooked Asian meal. Although we did eat a Tim Hortons donut almost every single day after they picked me up from school. So balance, I guess. Honestly, this Lunchly thing is making me want to eat Lunchables again after 20 years. But yeah, the public sentiment about Lunchly, 3.5 out of 10. Speaking of spiking up your dopamine levels, you familiar with loot boxes and gacha video games? I know a lot of you can relate from personal experience, me included. This is a mechanic where you spend real-life money for in-game currency, used for getting special items, character skins, and JPEGs of attractive anime husbandos and waifus. Except it's not a guaranteed thing. No. It all comes down to a single button press and how lucky you are. The system makes it so you only have a 0.5 to 3% chance of pulling the newest character or rarest item.
I believe they put this shit in their Lunchables. At some point, the one before Lunchly, they put special tickets inside the Lunchable stuff where you could like win prizes by going to an app that would let you gamble. Okay, so they were literally getting kids to gamble. Chalk it up to ethical practices, guys.
What happens if you don't get it? You gotta keep spending money if you want to keep trying. Which makes it so much more exciting when that 1% pull rate comes through. It's so fun and easy that even young kids can try their hand at it using their weekly allowance. This is essentially like gambling and training. Instead of winning cold hard cash, you win a cool Fortnite skin instead. That adrenaline rush you get from putting everything on black, or when you get a 5-star Genshin character on your first pull, is very addicting. Especially for these young developing meat sacks. Why are you calculating how many loot boxes you can pull when you should be calculating a grade 4 math problem? People in their early 20s are the fastest growing group of gamblers, according to recent research. And many kids are starting younger than that. Nearly 2/3 of adolescents ages 12 to 18 said they had gambled or played gambling-like games.
Holy hell, that is not good. This is dystopia. This is how it starts. When you raise a bunch of kids who are hooked on gambling and dopamine hits from social media, and then they grow up and all they can do is gamble.
In the previous year. Starting young carries a relative high burden of psychological distress and increased chances of developing problems. As access to gambling has expanded, psychologists and other experts have become concerned. Not just that more people will give it a try, but that more will develop gambling problems. And while it is too soon to know what the long-term effects will be, evidence is growing to suggest that young people, especially boys and men, are among those particularly vulnerable to gambling addiction. The same demographic most often participating in the newest forms of gambling. Now that we have smartphones, it's so accessible. In a matter of minutes, you could be playing a gacha game or spinning roulettes.
I remember I spent so much. I had like zero in my bank account. I had to like borrow money from like my boyfriend then to like eat.
Dude, I used to play Clash of Clans. Okay, I spent some money on Clash of Clans. It wasn't a lot. There were dudes out there dropping thousands monthly. Even my wife and I now, we'll download a fun mobile game. My wife is into that kind of stuff. And we'll both catch each other and be like, no, I'm not spending money, but it's so easy, but I'm not going to do it because I refuse, right? Because we have that limiter in our brain. These kids don't. And that is terrifying.
I used like Maple kind of as an escape. So there was COVID, right? So I didn't really go out. Then I didn't buy new clothes. So I was like, okay, then why don't I just buy virtual clothes, right? Why don't I just get good virtually?
That actually makes a lot of sense. Lockdown did do a number on our social skills. So why not treat this game world you invested so much time into as the real world? It definitely looks a lot more appealing than what we have going on here. Spending some money on a video game isn't inherently bad. We just need to control ourselves and make sure the grade schoolers are doing their homework instead of...
Oh no.
Thankfully, we are starting to realize the effects of engaging in this type of behavior at such a young age. More regulations are being put in place, such as limiting accounts to certain spending amounts each day. Some countries have gone as far as to ban any form of loot boxes altogether. Too bad this didn't happen before a 13-year-old spent her family's entire life savings on a mobile game, resulting in her mom finding 7 cents left in her account.
What do you do if your kid does this? How did this happen? She must have like stolen the credit cards or something? 13 years old. $64,000. Oh, I don't even know what I would do. I would make them sleep in a shed. Now, that sounds really bad. I wouldn't make my child sleep in a please don't cancel me. I'm just, oh my god.
They even deleted chats and transaction records to hide them from her parents. That is very spooky and sad. The last thing we'll talk about as a quick mention is Galaxy Gas, which is generally frightening. This company specializes in a gas product used to refill whipped cream canisters that give it that airy texture. They state you can make 20,000 servings of whipped cream using a single canister. Are you also fueling a car with this? This is like those people in those math problems that buy 100 watermelons, 72 apples for their family of 42. The issue is that people were finding out you can eat the gas directly through your mouth, which is not good. Just one look at this and you can tell that it's aiming to target a younger audience. Other than the creator doing demos of him using the product, I don't think people are just using this to make sweet treats. The packaging is fun, it's super accessible where you can order it off Amazon without an ID. It also comes with a mouthpiece, pretty weird if you're not intended to inhale it. Once this call went on
So it's... I said this yesterday, but every time I go onto the internet, I think today's the day. Today's the day I'm not going to see any crazy shit that people do. And every freaking day, I am wrong. So people are buying gas canisters used for like the soda machines and shit and like cream and stuff, and they are sucking it dry to get high?
social media, it became a trend of people using it at school and posting videos of themselves being goofy. Well, if you're a parent, what are you still doing watching this video? Get off your phone and never let your kid go outside ever again. Just kidding. Sort of. The world is a scary place. All you can really do is try your best, right? And besides, you can't just put the kid back from where it came from or bring it in for a refund. Hopefully watching this video is a net positive for you and we can all be smarter consumers together. Yes. Humans are also quite sturdy. A lot of us 90s kids grew up on a diet of Red 40, Play-Doh, and lead paint. We turned out more or less fine. Brain still work good. At least the YouTube algorithm is a reassuring presence in our lives. And you can feed it a lunchly by liking this video. In turn, it'll keep feeding you hits of dopamine by showing you videos you'll enjoy. Like this one, and one of my many other videos, perhaps. Have a good day.
This is what you need to subscribe to.
What is the most inspiring thing I ever said to you?
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Words to live by.